Tactic number 5. So this is the fifth and final tactic here for the Campaign Builder Finishing School webinar. And what I'm talking about here is multi-channel messaging. So let's zoom way out on your campaigns or on your customer journey. If you think about what we're creating, if you think about the nature of automation, is that you're basically designing the experience you want your customers to have, and over a course of time, you're creating the messaging that drives them from milestone to milestone, guiding their experience. Now, the reason I emphasize the multi-channel messaging approach is because I find that many small businesses and many Infusionsoft users only really think in terms of email marketing and the way that email can be used to encourage people down that path or from milestone to milestone. So the benefit of multi-channel messaging is that you get to layer in additional mediums to communicate, to reinforce the same message. So email is, of course, a valuable way to get a message across, but it is just that. It's one medium. It is not, the only option in terms of getting that message to people. So the examples I want to give here are to consider things like SMS or text messaging, or to consider using Facebook ads at key intervals throughout their customer journey. So if you think about email being the primary vehicle for delivering that message, you can reinforce that same message by having it show up in other channels like text messaging or through Facebook ads. And the way that you do that with Infusionsoft is by using third-party tools and integration. So there's a handful of popular SMS tools that can work in conjunction with Infusionsoft. So for multi-channel messaging, you're going to want to jump into existing campaigns, normally when you have a period or a bunch of emails over a period of time. And you'll introduce either in between the steps, another timer and a delay and possibly an SMS message. And of course that SMS message, how you trigger it is going to be dependent on which third-party tool you're using. Most commonly, it'll be an HTTP post that initiates it by posting to a URL provided by that third-party tool. You might need to send some additional parameters to make it do what you want or to reference custom fields, but all of the instructions for configuring that should be provided based on the SMS tool that you've selected. Now, similarly, if you wanted to add or remove people from custom audiences, you would want to, there's two primary methods. You either will do it by sending an HTTP post, or some of the integrations just do it by adding and removing tags. So based on what section of their customer journey they're in, you probably know what the next goal is for them. Well, you can dynamically add them to an audience that is perpetually running an advertisement, driving that same message or encouraging that same goal. So if there are specific milestones you want people to achieve, you can use the combination of mediums of the different channels to reinforce that message, to drive home that call to action, and to ultimately create the user experience that is most likely to both help them and achieve the mutual goals you have. So that is multi-channel messaging. The objective for that, or the action item I'll give you for that, is to comb back over your campaigns to figure out where these messages can be most effectively enhanced, and to use and select the tools that you want to drive those messages through the different channels. So whether it's SMS or Facebook audiences or phone calls, that part is going to be up to you and your industry and what ways your customers prefer to be communicated in. But my challenge is to find ways outside of just the email inbox to reinforce that same message or to help your customers, right? Now, as far as this webinar goes, if you found the content here valuable, the recommended next step I have for you is the Campaign Builder Trilogy. So if you want more tactics, more strategies, more out of the Campaign Builder specifically, the course that I recommend is the MonkeyPod Campaign Builder Trilogy. It's a start to finish walkthrough of how to use the Campaign Builder. And what I find is that as you develop that muscle, as you start to get more confident and comfortable with the Campaign Builder, you start to identify areas where automation can really start to serve you. And it may be things that you hadn't previously considered. It may be internal automation or segments of the customer journey that you had not focused on previously. Now, if you feel like this was over your head, if you feel like this was too advanced, if you're thinking, yeah, I just need more of that basic foundation, then what I recommend for you is the IS Starter Kit. So that course sort of lays the groundwork for using Infusionsoft. It gives you that baseline level of comfort, and then we would build on it as far as your appetite dictates. Now, for the third person, I know there are some of you watching this that thought, yeah, this was great, but I knew most of that, or I already feel comfortable with the campaign builder. For those of you for whom that is true, I invite you to join the OG membership. So this is my private community. It's a Facebook group at its core, but it offers a myriad of benefits for folks like us, folks who want more out of Infusionsoft, who want to have conversations, draw inspiration from the group, use it for thought partnership or for troubleshooting, or just to get a second pair of eyes on a campaign or automation process that you think could be more streamlined. Now, that is it. Thank you very much for joining me on the automated webinar today. I appreciate your time, your investment, and your interest. And in a moment here, I will redirect you to a page with the recording as well as the recommended action steps based on whichever path you have selected.